Hello everyone. As we have seen in last chapter that modern nationalism which was spread in Europe at the end of the 18th century and starting of the 19th century, various nation states were formed in Europe, and at the same time these European countries nations had started to spread their colonialism all over the world. As we all know, India was a part of that colonialism. India was known as a colonial country of Britain, and in starting of a 19th century there was a first world war just because of this colonialism among the European countries, and that war made a lot of changes in Indian economical and political situation. The British people who were ruling over India, they were the main country who was involved in First World War, and they had done lot of expenditure just to won the war, and to get that money back they had started to introduce income tax in their colonial countries like South Africa, India, and they have also raised custom duties on the essential goods. Not only custom duties but their prices also they have doubled during this world war situation, and they have forced Indian people to join British army. And people those were forced to join British army, these kind of troops were known as a British Indian Army, and they were fighting for Britain in the First World War. Me. And in this period only lot of crop failures were happening in India, and there was a lot of shortage of food materials. Even influenza epidemic like plague was spreaded all over the India and many part of India. Millions of people lost their lives just because of this epidemic. And let's see what was the nationalism feeling in India. As we all know, India was a colonial country of Britain. Therefore, the nationalism is intimately connected to the anti-colonial movement. People, those were staying in the countries like India, South Africa, they don't want the colonial power of any other country. So Indian nationalism is refers to be to the many underlying forces that molded to Indian independence movement. As we all know, strongly in India from 1857, the freedom struggle. The sense of being oppressed under the colonialism provided a shared bond that tied many different groups together, but each class and group felt the effects of colonialism differently. Their experiences were varied. Of Indians that prior to 1947, and these all ethnic groups were just focusing to get the independence. We have seen that First World War broke out in 1914. 1914 in India, the independence or nationalism was introduced by a great person, Mahatma Gandhi ji. Mahatma Gandhi ji, who returned to India in January 1915, as we all know, he came from South Africa where he had successfully fought against the racists with a novel method of mass agitation which is known as satyagraha. The idea of satyagraha was emphasis on just the power of truth and the need of search for truth. Satyagraha, it means if you are standing with the truth and others should be accepted that truth, it doesn't means you will force to accept the truth, but you should try to convince them to see the truth. It means the struggle should be just to convince the people about the truth. never force them to accept the truth. Therefore, Mahatma Gandhi ji was believing in satyagraha and non-violent struggle. By this struggle, truth can be accepted by everyone, not only by force, but accepted intellectually. Therefore, Mahatma Gandhi ji believed that this dharma of non-violence could unite all Indians together. Mahatma Gandhi ji practices various kinds of methods regarding satyagraha. First one was hunger strike, peaceful demonstrations, strike, hartal, or non cooperation with the government. We will learn about these methods. Let's see the example of Champaran movement. When Mahatma Gandhi ji was traveling all over the India, they reached to the Champaran region of Bihar in 1917, where he saw that Britishers were forcing all the farmers to grow indigo plant and disturbing their farming. Mahatma Gandhi ji inspired all the farmers to struggle against the oppressive plantation system. He told them why this thing is not accepted by them and tried to convince the government that we are not going to follow the things which are against our rights. And they fought and they won this struggle. Satyagraha, which was for the common people of Champaran region. After that, in the same year 1917, he organized another satyagraha to support the farmers or peasants of Kheda district in Gujarat, which was this area was affected by a crop failure and a plague epidemic. So people were suffering because of crop failure and plague. But these peasants or farmers of Kheda, they were not able to pay the revenue and were demanding to cancel the revenue or get some relaxation in the revenue. But Britishers were not listening to them. So Mahatma Gandhi ji organized a satyagraha to support these farmers and he was successful in that. After that, in 1918, Mahatma Gandhi went to Ahmedabad. There also he organized a satyagraha movement among the cotton mill workers. They were suffering because of low wages and poor working condition which was forced by the mill owners of Ahmedabad. And this movement was led by Gandhiji in the year 1918. So we have seen three examples of Champaran movement, Kheda movement and mill worker movement of Satyagraha. After various Satyagraha movement, Mahatma Gandhi ji was confident enough because of the success of those three Satyagraha. In 1919, he decided that he will launch a nationwide Satyagraha against the proposed Rowlatt Act. Now let's see what was this act. This act had been hurriedly passed through the Imperial Legislative Council despite of united opposition of Indian members. So the Parliament Legislative Council, which was established by Britishers in India, they had passed this act without concerning to any Indian members, and it gave the government enormous power to repress political activities and allowed to detention of political prisoners without trial for 2 years. So it was really Mahatma Gandhi ji wanted non-violent civil disobedience against such a unjustice laws which was going to start to implement from 6th April 1919. Rallies were conducted, shops were closed down, workers conducted strike, transport and communication system came to a standstill. These were not only in particular part of India but all over the cities people were opposing the government and supporting to the Rowlatt Act Satyagraha, which was led by Mahatma Gandhi ji. As this satyagraha was successful in various cities of India, British administration system was shocked and they had decided to prevent and suppress this nationalist movement. Local leaders of India were picked up from various cities like Amritsar also, and Mahatma Gandhi ji was also not allowed to enter in Delhi. On 10th April, the police of Amritsar fired upon a peaceful procession, and in same way everywhere people those were doing peaceful procession or opposing the Rowlatt Act, their British government was rudely behaving with all of them, and as the result of it, the martial law was imposed and General Dyer took a command, and on 13th April the infamous Jallianwala Bagh incident took place. On that day a large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh. Some came to protest against the government's new repression measures. Others had come to attend the annual Baisakhi fair. Being from outside the city, many villagers were unaware of the martial law that had been imposed. But the Dyer entered the area and blocked the exit points and opened fire on the crowd, killing hundreds. His object, as he declared later, was to produce a moral effect to create in the minds of Satyagrahis a feeling of